Hello. This presentation is intended to provide a logical framework for the immediate adoption of a community-led buyers club for heroin, cocaine, and methamphetamine in BC. I am presenting this on behalf of the Drug User Liberation Front. The Drug User Liberation Front is an unincorporated coalition of community-based organizations, concerned community members, and allied organizations. DULF is operated entirely by community volunteers, and all actions are funded through private donations. DULF's sole mission is to provide a tangible response to the devastating overdose crisis in BC and Canada. The first thing I'd like to do is frame the current situation. There have been massive efforts and resources dedicated to reducing the availability of drugs. However, anyone who wants drugs can easily find them. The war on drugs has, however, succeeded in pushing the strengths of opiates to incredibly dangerous levels and making the current supply potency completely unpredictable. Taking lessons from the prohibition of alcohol and cannabis, we know that people will continue to seek and find substances regardless of legality or circumstances of risk. The situation in BC is that we are in a declared opioid overdose emergency, and opioid overdose deaths are higher than ever. This April 14th of 2021 will mark the 5th anniversary of the declared opioid overdose emergency in BC, while also following the deadliest year on record for opioid overdoses. If not us, then who? It is the moral obligation of the public and health actors to intervene when the government will not implement evidence-based policies and solutions to a public health emergency. Hence, the Drug User Liberation Front is stepping up and taking on tremendous personal risk to carry out a necessary act of humanity by operating an episodic cocaine, heroin, and methamphetamine compassion club. There are 5 components to our compassion club. The membership assessment will be conducted by an existing DULF volunteer. Offers of membership will be at the assessor's discretion. The 2 requirements for membership are that the participant is over 18 and has previously used illicit drugs. Without access to pharmaceutical-grade substances, the club will have to use either existing community connections to access substances or existing internet-based domestic drug markets. For quality control, the club will access existing drug checking services offered by Get Your Drugs Checked, the BCCSU, and Vancouver Coastal Health. Utilizing drug checking services in this manner exponentially increases the reach and impact of drug checking services. After passing quality control, the substance is packed and labeled with ingredients and their appropriate quantities. These labels will also include warnings of the substance's addictive properties and potential for bodily harm, impairment, and death. Inside the packaging will be an information slip explaining the limitations of the drug checking technology and urges people to use at an OPS or with friends due to resource restrictions. The packaging will be simple, but with funding we could implement packaging with safety features. For distribution, the substances will be provided to club members at cost, and since the substances for April 14th were obtained through the private donations, they will be provided free of cost. In a sustained model, the price would mirror market prices. These are examples of what labeling would look like. People will reliably be able to know what they are using. The DULF model is not perfect. It is clearly not a solution to addiction or all substance-related harms, but it is a logical approach to harm reduction for the following reasons. 1. Giving power to compassion clubs will reduce the influence of organized crime. 2. By reducing the unpredictability of the drug market, these clubs will reduce overdose deaths and the costs associated with them. 3. The club acts as a connection to other harm reduction services and treatment or recovery services. This is important because these clubs will be able to reach a population that other initiatives cannot. 4. A centralized and legitimate club would introduce a level of regulation and control into the illicit market, increasing safety and ensuring minimum requirements for access. 5. The club will reduce the profitability of theft by refusing to take stolen goods. And 6. The model will not undermine efforts to promote cultural changes in demand for drugs, and in fact may actually reduce interest in opioids among high-risk populations. We wish we did not have to operate in this manner to do what is best for people who use drugs, their friends, families, and Canadian society as a whole. Thus, DULF's demands are that the appropriate levels of government take action to grant us the sanctioning and or exemptions we need to save lives, or take real action to implement evidence-based compassion clubs. Thank you for listening to this presentation. I hope it painted a clear picture for you why compassion clubs are the logical next step in harm reduction. If you'd like to learn more, please check out dulf.ca, where we will post additional documents and videos. And if you would like to support, feel free to join us on April 14th or donate with Monero, Bitcoin, or Dogecoin.